parang may nagkaroon ng time na nawala yung self-worth ko.
You know, you have to work to help your husband with the finances, to help prepare finances for your children for their future.
Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, pag age mo ng 35, wala na. Para kasing etsapuera ka na.
And it feels like hindi ko alam kung paano ko mag-gain yung confidence ko. Pag naging mom na sila, parang nawawala na yung career path nila.
Kasi na-fed up ako sa sobrang traffic. So, papasok, dahil madaling araw, either mag-grab ako or mag-aangkas, which is malaki-laki yung expenses.
The time spent with your kids and family are far more important than any job title out there.
Nag-decide ako na maghanap ng online job at nakakuha nga ako. Sobrang saya ko talaga. Kaya tinulungan ko rin yung iba kong mga mommy friends at nagkaroon rin sila ng sarili nilang online job. Kaya doon ako na-inspire at nag-decide na simula ng Filipina home-based moms.
FHMoms community was created for mothers, for single women, for women professionals and entrepreneurs, for women overseas Filipino workers, for differently abled women, and even for young at heart women. FHMoms is a women community.
Nung nagsimula yung FHMoms, hindi ko in-expect na ganito ka magiging malaki. Ngayon, meron na kaming more than 250,000 members nationwide. Dati, ang tingin ng mga tao sa amin, community lang. No? Ngayon, social enterprise na kami with different projects na tumutulong sa mga kababaihan.
We have free webinars about freelancing, entrepreneurship, parenting, and personal growth. We offer online short courses as well as mastery courses with trainers' 1-year support. We also run a scholarship program and an internship program. We also facilitate charity activities where we are joined by community members as volunteers. Job matching program is something they can also look forward to, as well as e-commerce program. And to celebrate motherhood, we also have online bootcamp for kids. We also have the computer rent-to-own program for members who need assistance in acquiring a computer set. Aspire to be a strong-willed, independent woman.
Mas gusto kong maging productive at saka naniniwala ako sa continuous learning.
Inspire other women.
Everyone was uplifting each other. Everyone was trying to help each other. In this world, you have to be more kind. You have to be more helpful because everyone is fighting their own battles, and you have to understand, you have to empathize, and that is what FHMoms is doing with all the moms out there. Even if you're not a mom, you would feel welcome.
Empower each woman to be in their fullest potential.
And most importantly, Mommy MK and the team model humility and generosity. Talagang ito yung very evident, which impacted me the most. So it gave me the desire to share freely to others what I learned freely from the FHMoms community. And I've always loved the community, the motive of the community, that is to change the world one mom at a time. Good job, FHMoms.
Aspire, inspire, empower. Nothing is stronger than a community of women lifting each other up.
To be among women who have genuinely tried to help people. This is something that I feel passionately about, and then this is something that I saw in FHMoms.
God is good. Kasi parang naturo sa akin itong FHMoms na pinakita sa akin na kahit nasa bahay ka, kahit nag-aalaga ka ng anak mo, it won't stop na dun ka lang. Yun lang yung pwede mong gawin.
Without this community, I'm not here in this situation. So FHMoms po yung nag-guide and nag-mold sa akin to be the best working at home mom I could ever be.
Ang pinakamalaking impact sa FHMoms sa akin is their quote, which is moving forward, giving back. That's the very essence of FHMoms eh.
That's what I like about this group kasi we encourage and inspire each other to keep dreaming, to chase our dreams. It's actually a big impact kasi if you are losing hope and wala ka ng gana and all, but because of this page, mapapasana all ka.
Dahil sa online job, natupad ko yung mga pangarap ko at Ang pinakapangarap ko na lang ay matupad yung pangarap ng lahat ng mga mommies. Huwag tayong titigil na abutin lahat ng mga pangarap natin, masipagan pa natin at huwag tayong susuko. Kaya kung feeling nyo hindi kayo techie, feeling nyo hindi pasok ang edad nyo para dito sa online freelancing, huwag nyong iisipin yon kasi sobrang daming opportunities ang pwedeng ibigay sa inyo online. At nandito ang Filipino home-based moms para suportahan kayo. Para sa mga naghahanap ng online job at gusto ring matuto pagdating sa online business, you can join Filipino Home-Based Moms Facebook group. My name is MK Bertulfo, CEO and founder of Filipino Home-Based Moms, and our goal is to change lives one mom at a time.
Hello! Sa ating mga momshies, kamusta po kayo? I'd like to know, kamusta ang mga momshies natin? Type in kung kamusta kayo ngayong Friday evening. Ayan. So ako po ay okay naman. Mga kumain na ba kayo? Nag-dinner na? Anong ulam niya tonight? At dahil dyan, dahil sinabi kong ulam, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay since the start July, alam niyo naman pag buwan ng Hulyo, it's called the Nutrition Month. Naalala ko lang noon nung nag-aaral ako, pag July, yung teacher namin, kailangan naming magdala ng paborito naming gulay o prutas sa school. So, kayo ba, ano yung normally naaalala niyo pag Nutrition Month nung nag-aaral pa kayo? Basta naalala ko lang noon, every time, walang palya yun. Basta pag Nutrition Month, dapat meron kayong dalang paborito nyong gulay o prutas kasi meron kayong parang presentation, short program sa school. Tapos naalala ko pa noon, kapag merong nutrition month, kailangan namin gumawa ng jingle. Tapos pagalingan gumawa ng jingle yung bawat group. Tapos kapag doon minsan nagkakasiraan ng friendship, ganyan. Kasi talagang competitive yung mga kaklase namin. So, kayo ba, ano yung naaalala nyo kapag Nutrition Month? Ito sabi ni Mami Abigail de la Cruz Orozco, by God's grace, okay na okay po kami. Nako, I love that. Thank you very much. Hello, Mami Abigail. Sana po ay nasa okay na okay po kayo. Dahil tonight, hindi ko na patatagalin pa, ang pag-uusapan natin, syempre, as we all know, kapag work from home mom ka or working mom ka, you have a lot of responsibilities and things to do. Tapos minsan, ang kailangan mong gawin, di ba minsan, aminin nyo, guilty rin kayo dyan, kapag nagkakatamaran ng magluto, pa-deliver na lang tayo. O book na lang tayo ng ganito, bili na lang tayo ng pa-grab na lang, pa-food panda na lang. Ganon minsan yung nangyayari sa atin. But tonight, tutulungan tayo ng isang momshie. Isa po siyang registered nutritionist and dietitian. She will help us and teach us dun sa mga how to prepare, easy to prepare meals, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga work from home momshies na kagaya ninyo. Dahil, alam niyo ba na ang momshie din natin ngayon ay isa rin pong freelancer. O yan, ito, basahin ko lang tong isa, sabi ni Mami Daniel de Vera. Basta Nutrition Month, pabonggahan ng dance number na nakagulay at prutas ang outfitan. Totoo yan. Oo, ito pa. Gagawa ng poster or slogan about sa Nutrition Month. Ay, oo. Tapos hindi talaga ako nananalo sa ganyan eh. Yung gagawa ng poster tsaka slogan, yung mga matataba yung utak, yung laging nananalo sa ganyan pag Nutrition Month. Anyway, maraming salamat for sharing yung inyong mga experiences nung kayo'y nag-aaral pa mga moms. And now, so ipapakilala ko na ang ating momshie. Isa po siya registered nutritionist and dietitian, a former law student, a mother to a 1-year-old who she loves and cared the most. Isa po siyang teacher to numerous students, clients, patients, mothers, companies, and individuals, at freelancer to people millions of miles away from her. Ang gusto niya po talaga is to teach, inspire people with good nutrition, which is very, very important. Lalo na naniniwala talaga ako na kapag healthy yung kinakain natin, isa rin yun sa pwede nating makatulong para sa atin, para labanan yung virus at para makaiwas magkasakit. Yan. And how it can improve your total well-being. She believes in the saying, you always reap what you sow. So no matter how long it takes, ang ultimate dream daw ng ating momshie na ito is at least to be Dua Lipa's backup dancer and retire, ito ang gusto ko, retire healthy, wealthy, with a house by the beach or up in the mountains overlooking the sea. Which is, kapag momshie na minsan na overlook na minsan yung pagiging, yung health. Yan. So kailangan din nating isipin din ang ating kalusugan because we believe that health is wealth talaga. She may have multiple jobs right now to consider, but she is only committed to 3 full-time jobs in her life. Una, to be the servant of the Lord, a good mother to her son, and the Joyceren to her family, friends, and clients that they can count on too. She has been a member of FHMoms since last year, May 2020, nung siya ay pinagbubuntis pa lang ang kanyang baby, siya po ay sumali na sa FHMoms. And also, last year din, when she started to become a freelancer, isa po siyang freelancer, registered nutritionist and dietitian. Nakakatuwa naman itong momshie natin ito. Kaya naman, let us welcome Mommy Joyceren Mia Henobania.
Hi, Mommy Ruth. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Remember lang everyone, we want to be rich, but we also need to be healthy when we become rich. Baka nakahiga tayo sa hospital, pero nakahiga tayo sa pera. Okay, we won't want that. Gusto natin wealthy and healthy at the same time.
Totoo. Tama yan. And also, di ba, lagi nga yung nakikita natin na kapag daw nag-edad ka na, Mommy, parang you all have the wealth, pero you don't have the energy. You have the time to do what you want, pero wala ka ng energy. That is why it's very important ang nutrition sa atin. Tama ba ako?
Yes.
So, dahil dyan, Mommy Joyceren, kasi nakakatuwa no na dun sa pag-uusap din natin, you started freelancing last year. And tama ba ako na nag-start ka mag-freelancing even nung pinagbubuntis mo pa lang ang baby mo?
Yes, actually I was at home lang kasi naka-ECQ, 'di ba? So everyone is at home. Then for me parang ang routine naman yung ginagawa ko, parang kumakain, natulog, kumakain, naliligo, kain na naman ulit, nood ng TV, tapos tulog, ganyan. It's very routine. And then I recovered my Upwork account, which I created when I was still in college because I wanted to have a side job while studying. Then ending, walang nahanap. And then I was amazed how it's still active kahit hindi ako nagka-client. I only got like one interview during my college time. Then I recovered it. I just submitted. I verified my profile, and then that's it. And then I didn't know the ins and outs of Upwork. So I have to read, I have to research what are the violations that could be made, what could be good, what is bad, how do I identify a good client, and then yun, parang na-develop na din siya by
through the years.
No? Yeah, so parang yung monthly na nangyayari or monthly na. Every client is a new learning experience for me. Yun yung tingin ko. Kahit hindi ko makuha yung job, as long as nakika-communicate ko yung client and then I see, okay, ganito pala yung gusto nila, then I cannot give it. So I have an idea, okay, I need to develop this skill kasi yun yung hinahanap ni client. So in the future, if I have encountered another client, I will be able to apply whatever I learned. So ganun yung technique ko medyo on freelancing. I do my research, ganyan. Kahit Google lang lahat. Andun sa Google yung answer. You just have to know what keywords to use, what sentence you construct, or you can really get the right answers that you're looking for.
So, ang galing lang kasi nagagawa mo pa rin what you love and at the same time you get to spend your time with your family, with your son. So, ang hashtag goals. So, iyan. Ako, ang dami ko pang gustong pag-usapan natin ni Mommy Joyceren. But syempre, I'll give the floor to you, Mommy Joyceren. Kaya naman dun sa mga mommy natin, sa lahat ng mga viewers natin, shout out pala sa aking, sa aking friend and also napaka-bait na broker friend namin na si Sir Jesse. Hi, Sir Jesse, watching from San Jose del Monte. Hi, sir. Nood ka, sir. Yan. para naman, alam kong mahilig ka sa pagkain. Panoorin niyo po ito. Ayan. So, sa mga mommies natin and mga viewers, type in kung ready na ba kayo at excited na kayong matuto with Mommy Joyceren. Type in yes if you are ready na makinig kay Mommy Joyceren. Ayan. And kung sa tingin po ninyo ang webinar na ito, ang ating pag-uusapan tonight ay makakatulong sa inyo o sa inyong kakilala, kaibigan, kapamilya, don't forget to comment their names sa ating comment section below. And also, don't forget to share away this video para naman mas marami po ang makapanood nito. And now, we are ready, Mommy Joyceren. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mommy Ruth. Okay, I think I'm in. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay, there I can see my screen. I hope everyone is well. I hope all of you guys are safe. I know I have siguro audiences here from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Hopefully, it's malayo na yung reach ko for me teaching how to have good nutrition. So one of my goals in life, siguro before ako mamatay, is to inspire people. I want people to remember me because of whatever I have shared to them. So to start, I would really love for you guys, if you have questions, you can type in, or anything that bothers you at the moment. Siguro you have questions because all of us have different techniques. So everything that I will teach you today or tonight is based on my experience. So you can tweak a little whatever you think that you know, or what applies, or what works best for you. But this is a proven way for me to prepare our meals at home. So you can share also whatever techniques you learn on your own, or if you read cookbooks or you read ebooks about meal prepping. So this is just a meal prep 101 pero Filipino style. Kasi most of the meal preps that we research or we see on the internet is mostly American, mostly international cooking. Parang ang hirap hanapin yung ingredients here. And we would want sana something that it's, of course, in our budgets, right? So to start, I know all of us dread the question, ano ba ang ulam natin? It's a repetitive question which is always brought up when mealtime is near. So parang, okay, ano ba naman yung ulam natin for today? So for us to be able to prepare, to be able to manage our time very well, especially us na nasa bahay lang. Nasa bahay lang tayo nagtatrabaho, but if we have our jobs together with us taking care of our kids, also cleaning or doing the chores at home, parang ang kulang nung time natin to prepare our food items. So, very much neglected yung nutrition when it comes to Filipino households. So recent research of NNC and FNRI, or the Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Philippines, showed that Filipinos lack the consumption of the macro and the micronutrients. So meaning kulang yung mga vitamins, minerals, even carbohydrates, protein that we eat. So pasensya for medyo scientific, but I will really try my best to make it more on the layman's term. So and on that research, it just proves na most of the Filipino households nowadays opt for takeouts, for easy to cook food items. For example, nakakook na siya, or nagti-takeout lang tayo, or nagpapadeliver. According to Mommy Ruth, diba, we end up getting a delivery system because we cannot prepare our food items anymore. So that's because we do not learn how to, or we do not know how to plan our meals. So ang gamit nung meal prepping, or the idea of meal prepping, is to save you time, was to save you or even knowing whatever you want to eat for the week. So I will share. Okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, hindi siya nag-move. Okay. One. I think, Mommy Ruth, I'm having a little...
Okay, sige po. Go, Mommy Joyceren, you can do it. Naku,
Oo nga,
ako,
parang hindi siya Okay,
siguro
wait.
you have to, ayan, click nyo po yata yung play kasi parang naka-video po yata siya.
Okay.
Yeah?
No, it's like audience. Hindi siya nag-move for a while.
Hindi
I'll
siya
stop
nag-move.
sharing.
Sige lang po.
Yeah.
Ayan. So, sa mga moms natin, nakita ko kanina si Mommy Abigail de la Cruz Orozco. Nag-share na siya. Thank you very much. Hello din po. Ayan, si Mommy Daniel de Vera. Ang hirap pag breastfeeding, mom. Palaging gutom. I gained weight na tuloy, which is good naman, pero lumaki na ang tummy ko kakakain. Ako, Mommy Daniel de Vera, ang maganda yung comment mo, ha? Kasi, alam mo ba na this August, we'll be having a very nice webinar for all the breastfeeding moms kasi it's Hakab week, Hakab celebration. So, pakatutukan mo yan, Mommy Daniel de Vera. And hopefully, makasama din natin si Mommy Joyceren sa August kasi she'll teach us and discuss more about it. Ayan. Sabi naman ni ayan, maraming tinag din tong si Mommy Abigail de la Cruz Orozco, ha. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Hello to everyone. Sabi nga po niya, healthy meals, kinikilig ako pag nami-mention ng name ko. Haha, thanks, mom. Hello po, ayan. So si Mommy Leah Manuel, hello din po, Mommy. And there you go. Hello, Mommy. Hello po sa inyong lahat. Kaya naman, gaya nga ng sabi ni Mommy Joyceren kanina, 'di ba? Guilty tayo dyan na lalo na we choose na kapag kulang sa oras, pa-deliver na lang, ganyan. Pero syempre, minsan din, kailangan din kasi talaga natin na we prepare our own food. Kasi at least alam mo na nutritious and at the same time, alam mo na ikaw yung nag-prepare para sa pamilya mo. So yan. Wala namang masama kung paminsan-minsan din parang meron akong kakilala na what they do, hindi, isa siyang sikat na vlogger, fina-follow ko siya. Tapos sa kanya naman, parang she's a great believer na kailangan, are you good na, Mommy Joyceren? Or okay lang?
I'm good na.
Okay, you're good. Okay, ayan.
Continue lang.
So, so yun, mabilis ko lang banggitin. Itong mommy na to, itong mommy vlogger na to, they live abroad. Tapos, most of the time, all of the, talaga, every day, she prepares meals for her family. So kahit na she's working, kasi vlogger din siya, at the same time, she makes time na mag-prepare ng pagkain para sa kanyang family. Tapos sinabi niya doon na she's a believer na kailangan para daw mas makatipid and also mas healthy, magpe-prepare ng pagkain pa. Okay, now Mommy Joyceren, ikaw na bahala. Aalis na po.
Thank you, Mommy Ruth, for saving me.
Oh, it's okay, no problem po. Sa mga mommies natin, ready nyo na yung inyong mga pens at notebook kasi matutunan tonight. Thank you. God bless, Mommy Joyceren.
Thank you, Mommy Ruth. Okay, so here, you can see my title is Meal Prep 101, but really, it depends on your knowledge on, di ba, when we say 101, it's like a training or bootcamp training of something. But with meal prepping and meal planning, it's really different kasi you can incorporate whatever ideas you have at home. Kasi you can never have someone or like for example, your nutritionist to tell you, ito lang yung pwede mong kainin, ito lang yung pwede sa'yo. And it hurts when, we are told what to eat, when to stop. So for me, it's like a blessing and a curse being a nutritionist dietitian because sometimes I don't see food anymore. So when I see, for example, a slice of cake, all I can see is sugar, carbohydrates, fat, and then sometimes it makes me not enjoy my food that well anymore. So, minsan nag-iiwas ako ng buffet kasi yun yung nakakataba, yun yung ganyan. Sometimes it's really a curse for me to be a nutritionist dietitian, but it has been the biggest blessing for me noon ever na nangyari sa buhay ko because when I got pregnant, I have a 1-year-old, everyone. So I'm exclusively breastfeeding. So I heard earlier my comment about breastfeeding. So hopefully we can also develop another talk for breastfeeding. I'm exclusively breastfeeding my 1-year-old. Lumalaban pa rin kami kahit 1-year-old na. Um, yeah, I am about to siguro involve more food items to his diet because he loves eating anything. So vegetables, fruits. At 6 months we started feeding him with solid food items. So apply ko po yung pagiging nutritionist dietitian. Even when I was pregnant, I was really strict with my diet. Strict to the point that I really not count calories, but I'm more on portioning my food items, when to eat, what to eat, even cut up my fruits. Na parang yun yung dapat kainin ko kasi ito lang yung carbohydrate na balik. So I was really afraid of having this gestational diabetes when I got pregnant. I was afraid with hypertension. So parang kinokontrol ko talaga. And luckily, it only took me less than 30 minutes in the delivery room. And then out na, and then ganun. Yun yung pinaka-goal ko sana, madali lang yung pregnancy. I didn't have long labor hours. Hindi siya masakit for me. It was an easy pregnancy because I took care of my nutrition, because nutrition has a biggest impact to pregnancy kasi. So, I hopefully, parang kung pwede lang ma-multiply yung self ko to teach a lot of mothers, kasi parang nineglect lang yung nutrition during pregnancy, not knowing na it's really, really important. So, to my students, as early as now, because I teach in university here, I always teach them to teach your clients, to teach the mothers, because they're very important. The mother's nutrition is the foundation to the growing child. Kasi dependent kasi yung fetus or dependent yung baby sa mother. Kung anong kinakain ng mother, na-absorb ng child. And then, yun, some of the mothers nga, super nakagain ng weight during pregnancy kasi kain lang ng kain, not knowing that it could affect their pregnancy. It can let them go to CS kasi medyo malaki si baby. And yeah, yun yung mga unforeseen changes during pregnancy. And that is affected by food. So ngayon, hindi lang natin lalagyan ng topic for breastfeeding mothers or for kids, or parents or anything. It's just meal prep 101. So let's go to identifying what is meal planning and meal prepping. So to start meal prepping, of course, you have to plan your meals. So to identify them both, meal planning is like deciding. You have to list down. You have to map out. To map out, you're going to distribute the recipes or dishes that you want to eat throughout the week. So a minimum of week siguro yung pinaka-applicable or pinaka-doable to meal plan and meal prep. So for me, it's easy to make a meal plan because I'm used to doing those for my clients and for my family. But for starters, the best thing that you do is to get, of course, a pen and paper. List down whatever you want to cook. Kailan nyo siya gustong lutuin? Gusto nyo ba Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? How much ba yung lulutuin at how much yung kakain? When you plan meals, consider the other people that will be eating your food item or the dish. Kasi kasama nyo na sila sa bahay, you know na si ate medyo maliit yung kain compared kay kuya. So kuya can, for example, finish 2 slices of pork belly, let's just say, and then ate. You will be able to count how much you will cook for that day because you know the consumption of your family or whoever is eating with you. Also, included in meal planning is knowing what to buy and where to buy. So ano ba yung kailangan na ingredients? Ano ba yung kailangan? Saan ba natin bibilhin? Sa Rustans ba tayo bibili? Sa wet market or farmer's market ba tayo bibili? Sa SM ba tayo bibili? Saan tayo bibili na mas ideal at pasok sa atin? Okay, so that is meal planning. So to sum up, it's what to cook, when to cook, how much to cook, which is very important. So when you say how much to cook, kasi baka mag-cook ka ng pang 10 tao, 5 lang kayong kakain, and the remaining servings will just go to waste kasi medyo bad na siya or you don't know how to store the food item. So Next is when to eat and what to buy. So that's the only things or few things that you have to remember when doing your meal planning. So how long do you need to make or to construct your meal plan? Kung ako lang po, kaya kong gawin ng isang oras yung 1 week na meal plan. That's from planning the recipes or planning the dishes that I want to cook or gusto ko yung lutuin ng mama ko kasi I'm with my mom at home, so we eat here, we plan our meals ahead. But to time yourself, you don't have to spend like the whole day planning your meal. 1 to 5 hours, maybe with research if you want to discover new recipes or you're not really familiar with dishes muna ngayon. Medyo konti pa yung collection yun ng recipes or dishes. So you might want to spend like 1 to 3 hours making your meal plan. So not too much kasi baka ended up puro lang tayo drawing, puro lang tayo sulat, wala nang na-prep because we didn't plan our time really well. So then again, you can really start with a simple pen and paper. List down all the things or all the dishes that you want to discover and prepare by your or yung gustong mga favorites nyo, gusto nyong i-prepare by yourself, you can write it down first. That's how you do meal planning. So that's meal planning 101. Doesn't need you to be a registered nutritionist, dietitian to be able to plan your meal. So as simple as listing pork nilaga, kare-kare. It doesn't need to be international dishes talaga, parang quinoa salad or anything that is really social and really hard to find the ingredients. So as simple as fried fish, as simple as fish tinola, that's should be included in meal planning. As Filipinos, that's how we do, that's how we cook, that's how we normally do it. We don't want our diets to change because we are meal planning and then we shift it to another set of food item that's really not available here in the Philippines. So you wanted to shift into kale and broccoli, and which are very expensive here. So for me, meal planning should start somewhere na you know what you know about it or how you want your dishes to be like. So let's go to meal prepping. So what is meal prepping? So meal prepping is just preparing the food items or preparing the dishes that you have planned. So masusunod ba talaga yung napaplano natin? So you will plot out in your meal planning what you will have on Monday, what you will have on Tuesday, what you will have on Thursday. So makikita mo na agad, kailan ko kaya i-prepare si Monday dinner? So if it's easy or if it doesn't need long cooking time, you can prepare it on the day. But for example, gusto mo talagang pochero by Monday, you have to prep it ahead of time because it takes, 2 to 3 hours of cooking to get that full flavor. So meal prepping means, applying what you are planning for. Diba, nagpa-plan tayo for something. So if we plan something, meron siyang execution. So meal prepping is the execution part. So they go hand in hand. So when you plan your meal, expect that you will prepare your meal items. So let's go into ano ba yung mga different types ng meal prepping kasi yung topic natin meal prepping. Okay, so let's go first pala sa meal planning. So kanina medyo na-breakdown ko yung meal planning part. I shifted the slides here. So I mentioned write out your meals, no? The dishes, which means like what dishes you will prepare for the week. Ano ba yung gusto mo? Gusto mong fried chicken? Gusto mong kare-kare? Gusto mong ganyan? So you can list out all the meals that you want to prepare, all the dishes that you want to prepare. If you're not familiar with a certain dish, you can research recipes because when you plan, you need to have collection of recipes or you need to have at least a list of recipes that you know because it will take time for someone to prepare something that they do not know, right? So if we prepare, for example, scrambled eggs, kahit nakapikit tayo, kaya nating magluto ng scrambled eggs. We know how to whisk the eggs. We know if we want to add tomatoes, if we want to add like salt and pepper lang, okay na yan. So it's on the back of our head. It's easy to prepare those food items that we know or food dishes that we know. So first step really is to write down. So get your pen and paper. go to old cookbooks that you have at home, your mga magazines yan. Meron yung mga recipes na maybe gusto nyo i-try. So that's the first thing. You write the dishes or recipes that you have at home. Know the equipment. Of course, when you plan out, you wouldn't want to have baked chicken with potatoes and carrots, but you don't have oven at home. So how will you execute baked chicken with carrots and potatoes pero wala kang oven sa bahay? Know all the equipments that will be needed when you prepare that certain dish or recipe. Kaya there's a recipe for us to follow kasi para malaman natin kung ano yung kailangan. Kailangan ba niya ng blender? Kailangan ba niya ng food processor? Kailangan ba niya ng muffin tin? Kailangan ba yan ng mixing hand mixer? So it's important for you to list down or even know the equipment needed to be used when cooking or preparing that certain recipe. Lastly, ano yung kailangan na storage? Gusto mo mag-meal prep but you don't have a freezer at home, you don't have refrigerator. Paano mo maggagawang mag-meal prep if you will you don't have proper storage of the things that you have already prepared? You prepared by Sunday, you prepared a whole or a big batch of, let's say, kare-kare. You divided it into containers and they have to stay in the freezer for it not to spoil. Kasi pag nasa room lang yun, isang batch, parang 4 na servings yung ginawa mo, parang family size, 3 kilo yung ginawa mong kare-kare, and then it ended up not being in the freezer. What happened is it spoiled. So what's the use of meal prepping if you don't have storage for it? So consider really knowing what storage and how big is your storage. You might be planning for a week times meal, and then you have, let's say, 10 Tupperwares. You have 10 containers of food items. Tapos yung fridge mo is pang hotel ref lang, yung maliit na freezer. Yung freezer ganito kalaki. How will you put 10 divided containers into that storage? So be sure to at least know how to store your food items para hindi naman masayang. Sayang sa pera, sayang sa effort if you prepare and then it ended up spoiling. So we want to save the earth, no saving leftovers. Dapat walang natatapon na pagkain kasi not everyone is with the privilege to eat 3 times a day. So we are blessed, no, to know, or we're here because we want to know how to meal prep. We want to know, iba nga dyan, wala silang pangkain every day. Parang hinahanap pa nila yung money to buy food on that meal. So we're lucky enough to be here, no, to have to learn meal prepping. So that's really important. Those are the things that you want to list down. So siguro while listening to me, you want to list down na some dishes, no? You want to ano ba yung paborito ni baby? Ano ba yung paborito ni ate? Ano paborito ng husband ko? Ganyan. So you want to at least have a list, no? Naka-ano lang siya. Medyo starting muna tayo, di muna binder. So let's have like a paper lang of it. Yellow pad ngayon. So you can write all the dishes under, you can put a header of dishes or recipes, you write. List down whatever you know because it's start. Kasi it's good to know a little muna bago you dive into lots of or doing research online. So next thing, when you have finished listing the food items that you want to cook for the week. So for example, you have assigned breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Monday. Naka-assign na si 1 to 2 dishes. Tapos may recipe ka na ipa-follow. Ililist down mo yung mga ingredients or mga needed na ingredients for that certain recipe. So for example, you will write pork sinigang. You will list down under it kung ano yung mga kailangan. Kailangan ba yun ng pork, ano bang part ng pork yung gusto niyo? Pork rib or gusto mo yung medyo may taba konti? So you will really write and specify whatever ingredient is there. Okay, so na-finish mo na yung pang whole week. You will then create a shopping list from it. First things first, before creating a shopping list, is to check whatever you have in your pantry. So medyo social tayo at home. If you have a pantry or your cabinet or your shelf, wherever you put, even sa ref nyo, you will check kung ano yung mga items na kikita nyo sa recipes nyo. For example, there's a specified ribs, for example, in your sinigang, and you still have extra, for example, you have extra 1 kilo in the ref na naka-freezer lang. So you might want not to buy. No, you want to, for example, your requirement or required pork ribs for the week is 1 kilo. And then you have 1 kilo in your ref. So it's an idea for you to keep off the rib section sa meat because you already have it at home. So you will take it out. Okay, no more ribs for my shopping list because I have it at home. So next thing is that all the condiments, for example, soy sauce, vinegar, salt, and if you use seasonings, dapat nakastock siya sa bahay para you know when to refill them kasi daily natin silang ginagamit. So if you have salt, okay, you have to check, okay, we'll use salt, we'll use pepper, whatever spices or seasonings na ginagamit sa recipe. And when you have it at home, crash out mo na rin siya from your shopping list. So your shopping list is as simple as I said, parang list lang siya. Iko-combine mo siya afterwards. So for example, tatlong dishes yung gumagamit ng carrots. You will add in, okay, 1 for fritada, 1 for soup, and then 1 for a salad. Okay, so kailangan ko ng tatlong carrots. Alilist down pa siya. Yan. What I usually do is I separate the meat items or the freezer items. Chicken, meat, fish, seafood. So I separate it. And then I group together all the produce. So for example, vegetables, fruits, root crops, whatever is needed. So that's how I make. So as simple as like this, I make it as simple as like this with the scratch papers I have in school. So I list down all the if you can see, I list down all the dishes. I list down the meat. I list down the vegetables and fruits on the side. So as simple as that, kasi yun yung list na ibinibigay ko kay mommy kasi siya yung bumibili outside. Okay? So next thing when you have your shopping list is plan your purchases. Saan ba ako bibili ng garlic? Saan ako bibili ng onion? Saan ako bibili ng pork giniling? So you will plan out kasi pag sa mall, for example, expected sa mall that they top up the price compared to the wet market. So it's really important for you. Is the wet market accessible to you? Because yeah, you might want to buy in wet market, but you have to do 3 rides away. No? Kailangan kang mag-tricycle, kailangan kang mag-jeep, at kailangan ng another jeep na naman to be able to go to the wet market. Computing the price of, or computing the total of your fare alone, comparing it to buying on the supermarket na walking distance lang away from you. It might be more practical to buy it in the grocery or in the supermarket compared to the wet market miles or let's say kilometers away from you. So you have to plan your purchases because it will affect your budget. It will affect the types of food items that you have. But if you really want to have, of course, fresher food items, fresher meat, bagong katay na baboy is more available in wet market compared to the ones na naka-freezer sa grocery. If you go tambay, if you go in the supermarket with your shopping list, you will be able to identify which aisle do you go directly compared to not having any list at all na parang you're roaming around the grocery. What happens is you keep on picking up on the food items that you don't really need. You end up buying a lot of chips, a lot of candies, a lot of chocolates, a lot of soft drinks maybe because we're not following any list kasi. When we have our list, we have our mind or we have a direction that we go into. Okay, nasa meat section siya, nasa back ng grocery. Okay, produce, let's say talong, garlic, onion, nasa right side siya. Milk, okay, nandito siya sa aisle number 15. So do I need to get a watermelon? Okay, andun siya sa may produce na area. Do I need to get soy sauce? Do I need to get ketchup? Okay, nasa list siya. Go to aisle 13, let's say. Ganyan. So if your list doesn't contain any Coco Crunch or it doesn't contain any chips, so hindi ka talaga kumukuha ng chips kasi wala siya sa list. And it will be out of your mind because you're really concentrating on the shopping list that you have. And also, another advantage of having a shopping list is you will be able to know your budget needed for the grocery or your wet market purchases. Because you will be okay, yung talong pala 30 per kilo na ngayon. Okay, so you'll write 30. And then you can total. So you'll have a budget. You can stick to your budget if you know what items you will buy. So that's planning your purchases. After which you purchase your food items, you have to prep your food items. So later on, I will let you see kung paano yung way namin at home. Okay, so I'll share my personal thoughts or personal, kasi I really do apply this in my daily living here at home. Okay, so you have to meal prep, but remember that you don't have to meal prep all the things that you have purchased. Na parang one day lang, okay, prepare lahat niluto mo na. There are food or dishes that you would really want to be freshly cooked. Parang ang effect niya is different to frozen or refrigerated food items. So for example, is yung vegetables natin, we would really want to eat fresh vegetables, especially yung children who are very picky with eating. You would really want to have fresh vegetables or freshly cooked vegetables. Some fishes then. I tried meal prepping fish. It's a fish tinola. So we made like a batch of it, 4 servings. So we consumed 1 serving. There were 3 servings. When we had the last serving, so the 4th one, it turned really a bit, it turned na-fouling your smell niya. Even naka-freezer siya. It's maybe because of the fish deteriorating, you're continuously deteriorating with the malunggay. So it really changed the quality of the dish. So for me, I learned my lesson there. Maybe fish is not really applicable to meal prepping. Okay, so that's the planning part. So remember to have your meals or your dishes. You list down all the recipes that you want. You list down the equipment if it will need a certain equipment, and then also do storage. For storage, it will include the containers that you use. Would you prefer plastic? Would you prefer glass? Medyo rich tayo, no? Kailangan natin ng mga glass storage. Next thing is you have to create your shopping list. Okay? List down all the ingredients that you will need. Mapa-produce man, mapa-meat, mapa-fruits, mapa-packaged food items. Will you need pasta? Will you need canned vegetables? Will you need tomato sauce? Something like that. Next is to plan your purchases, where to buy, when to buy. Okay? Also, a tip, do not go to the grocery or do not purchase your supply for the week if you are hungry. So go out after eating because it will affect your purchases really. So remember that, guys. Okay, so prep after or prepare after purchasing. You can plan ahead whatever dishes you want to prepare after you get home from when you get home after you do your purchasing. Also, lastly, never meal prep in one go. Kung gusto mo lang Sunday, nag-purchase ka ng Sunday, prepare mo lahat ng Sunday, hanggang 12 midnight ka sa kusina kasi from morning, niluto mo lahat for the whole week. So, anong nangyari? Na burnout ka in one day kasi you prepared all your dishes. And then it ended up, hindi siya nagkasya sa refrigerator. Okay? So, I mentioned earlier, I found 4 types of meal prepping that is very applicable to us. So, first na pinaka-common of meal prepping is make ahead meals. So they are already fully cooked. So naluto na siya. After cooking, you placed it in a certain container and then closed it, covered it, refrigerated, and then what they do afterwards is they microwave it na lang on meal day or meal before the meal time. So this is very common with delivery food items or meal kit. That's what I researched in Manila. There are meal kits that they do. So it's like lunch. It is delivered in the morning. So there's breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. So what the customer or the client will do is that heat up the food item and then eat it. So that's the make ahead meals. So if you guys, for example, you're just alone at home, you can make it ahead of time. You can prep your meals. But if you're prepping for a family, it might be hard to have like certain number of containers in your fridge with meal prep food items. Also, this might lead to food items getting spoiled compared to cooking them. You know, it's easy to cook. For example, on the picture, you can see there's vegetables, there's rice, and then there's a soy-based meat or tofu, I guess. So it's easy to cook that, right? But if you are really catching up your time and you only have one day to prepare, you can do make ahead meals. So it's cooked, placed in a container, refrigerated or frozen, took out, and then you just heat it to the microwave or stove top. It depends on you. It depends on the time that you have. Next is we have assemble ahead. So this type of meal prepping is very common with soup items. So medyo sa Philippines hindi natin ma-apply kasi wala naman tayong mga chili, wala tayong mga black bean soup. We're not really used to. We like our soup boiling, clear. We love that soup, no? Yung clear soups kasi yun yung pinaka-rich yung meat. So here, everything is combined. So cut up na lahat. Wala ka nang gagawin when you cook. It's already prepared. Even the sauce, the tomato sauce, even soy sauce, salt, chili, whatever is added in a resealable bag or in a container, what they'll do on the day that we'll cook is just put it in a pan, put it in a pot or an instant pot or a pressure cooker, and then put it there, and then that's it. Heat it, leave it, and it will cook by itself. So everything is prepared, everything is cut up and then combined or placed in a resealable. So you can see here is the assemble ahead. Nakalagay na talaga lahat. All you need to do on cooking day is just to pour it in a pan, in a skillet, or in a pot where everything is mixed. And then, okay, lagay na lang ng water, cook na yan. Parang instant noodles yung dating niya. Okay? So our next type of meal preparation is ingredient prep or portioning. So kinakat up na ahead of time yung garlic, yung carrots, yung bell peppers, yung other vegetables. So for example, meat, nakalagay sa isang container lahat. When you take out or cook on the day, you just get like, okay, 1/4 lang nito yung gagamitin ko. So yung remaining, ilalagay ulit sa wrapper, ilalagay ulit sa freezer. That's ingredient prep or portioning. So ayaw mo nang maghugas, ayaw mo nang mag-chop on the day that you will cook. By the time after you purchase, for example, you purchase all your grocery and your wet market on Sunday, piniprep mo na sila lahat, kinakat up mo. Kahit hindi ka magluto, you just prep everything, prep the ingredients. Portion out your meat, portion out your cabbage, your red bell peppers, naka-slice na mismo si garlic, si onion, si ginger, lahat. Even si talong, si ampalaya, even those, naka-portion na sila, sealed in a container to be able to put them in the ref. By the time you cook, okay, ano ba yung ulam ko ngayon? Okay, I'll do ampalaya gisado with egg. So I'll get the ampalaya, I'll get the container of garlic, container of onion, container of bell pepper, get like 2 tablespoons of each or 1 tablespoon or teaspoon of garlic, and then continue cooking like that. Portioning na lang. Wala nang washing, wala nang chopping on the day that you cook kasi naka-portion out na sila beforehand. So this is all applicable to not all food items kasi yung pwedeng ingredient prep natin. Kasi may mga browning na nangyayari or sumasama yung kulay ng few vegetables. For example, potatoes, they turn black or brown when you cut them up. So, pwede naman siyang ma-prevent. But for me, this is not really that usable. Maybe 2 to 3 days lang. After that, it gets wilted. You know, your greens are not that fresh anymore when you cut them up. So, for me, ingredient prep is okay if you're doing salads, for example, on Monday or Tuesday. But for me, for us, no, yung hindi medyo makasalad, more tayo on whole food items, more on sayote, more or as soups and kalabasa. So for me, it's not really that applicable. It can be used maybe 1 to 2 days or 3 days or the first few days of the week. But by Friday, medyo malulow na yung quality ng cut up vegetables. So just observe kung ano yung mga vegetables na pwede yung gamitin or pwede yung ingredient prep ahead of time. So this is just to help shorten the prep time. You wouldn't spend much time on cutting. Gusto pa yung dice, gusto yung julienne. So maybe this can help with you shortening the time that you are spending or cooking in the kitchen. So last type of meal prep, this is what I usually do at home. We do a batch meal prep. So one dish is cooked in a larger batch. So for example, one recipe doubled or tripled so that we will be able to consume it siguro hanggang 4 times per week. Medyo monotonous, maybe you can say, but for me, it's really time saving. Time saver talaga mag-batch meal prep. Because you can do is that cook one day. One day ka lang magluluto, 4 na beses mo siyang kakainin for the whole week. It can be distributed, pwede namang Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, para hindi masyadong sunod-sunod yung pagkain mo ng same food item. So this is what I usually do at home. We do batch meal prep. Okay? So if you have questions with the types of meal prep, please type in na lang yung what do you call this, your questions. Also, batch meal prep is really applicable to meat, to pork, to beef, to chicken, kasi it will save you much time in waiting for your nilaga to boil or waiting for your chicken to be tender. So that's really a time saver for you. It will really help you with shortening your cooking time. Also, very easy lang yung batch meal prep. Kasi it's good to distribute your whole day to it. Okay? So I have a simple way for you to be able to do meal planning and meal prepping. So what I usually do is that, kasi naka-plot na siya, I will let you see later yung how I list down or how do I know when to serve or what to serve on the day. But to give you an idea on how I do my meal, parang routine siya kasi for me. Every Friday, I plan out the meals, whatever I will include for next week. Hindi naman kasi tayo nag-meal plan ng next week, tapos Monday tayo nagpa-plan. Kailangan natin mag-plan beforehand. So, everything that I plan, for example, today, so I already plotted our next week's menu plan. So, I usually plan on Friday. We purchase on Saturday or Sunday morning, depending on the availability. Depende nung availability ko kasi dalawa lang kami sa bahay. Kailangan may matira sa baby. So, if Saturday afternoon is good or Sunday morning is good, any of the two, pwede akong mag-purchase or pwede yung mom kong mag-purchase. So, plan on Friday, purchase on Saturday, and then prep afterwards. So, if ever you're prepping or you're purchasing on Saturday, you can prep afterwards. If you're purchasing on Sunday, pwede naman mag-prep afterwards then. Basta, you can at least prep few food items after purchasing. Okay, you wouldn't want to prep because, for example, you purchased on Saturday and then you prepped on Monday. Di ba when we get home, we put our meat items in the freezer and then it became frozen na kasi 1 to 2 days after ka pa nag-prepare. You will wait for it to defrost, di ba? So, time consuming na naman. Okay, so it's good to prep, especially the meats, after you purchase them. Para one go lang yung freezing. You wouldn't want to freeze your meat na raw and then take it out 2 to 3 days after because you want to prepare your meals. So you will really wait for it to defrost na. So, di ba, it will take time for you. So what I usually tell my clients or my friends, most commonly, you prep for 2 days if you want to divide the whole week. Pero if kaya nyo, superwoman kayo, kaya nyo prep in 1 day, pwede din naman. But for me, it will really need you more storage. Also, it doesn't mean to meal prep on Sunday that everything that you eat for the week is already meal prep. There are certain dishes that will just take you, let's say, 10 minutes to prepare and 20 minutes to cook. So, I'll let you see my week later. But for now, let's backtrack a little. You know when to plan, what to plan. That's on Friday. You purchase, if you can always assign your day, ha? Baka iba yung days natin. You're free to purchase your food items on Monday. So maybe you can plan on Saturday or on Sunday. Then purchase on Monday, prepare on Tuesday, or prepare on Monday. So it depends on your work schedule kasi hindi naman ako parang okay, sabi ni Miss Mommy Joyceren, dapat Friday naka-plan agad, no? It really depends on your availability of making your meal plans or purchasing your food items. So this is just the best, listing that works for me, or the best time for me to plan my meals. So next is that before I go to that, I will let you see. Change screen muna. I'll let you see my where I list down my recipes, where I list down, or how will I know when to eat and what to eat what. So here, um, yeah, here I am actually using Trello for my recipe. So here, parang OCD lang. I list down all the breakfast food items. I list down all the vegetables. I list down all the beef. Ito po yung mga niluluto namin sa bahay. Medyo konti lang yung list. If anyone is using Trello, maybe you're familiar with this one. So all the beef items, pork, chicken, fish and seafood, wala medyo desserts and snacks kasi minsan gumagawa kami. What I do is that from here in the certain recipe, I just copy it and then I placed it in the list of my reminders for to buy items. So here I can see it here. So for example, pork ribs nilaga, I can easily transfer it kung kailan ko siya gustong kainin. Okay, so just a quick view of this one. So last Monday, ito yung kinain namin. Last Tuesday, ito yung kinain namin. Last Wednesday, ito yung kinain namin. Baka nakita niyo ako may beef flu. Nutritionist, dietitians po kami, but it's not really, you might really think that all of the food items that we eat are, usually healthy. No, I'm more into the quality of food items that we eat. No, I'm not limiting I don't demonize one certain food item because it's high in sugar and something like that. I always try to divide my day to be able to include lots and lots of vegetables because we get vitamins and minerals there. So I plot out my week here. So if you can see, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So everything or every day dapat merong naka-assign na food item. So last Monday, wala kaming dinner kasi pupunta kami sa auntie namin. So ilalagay ko dito, for example, if there are certain leftovers. So for example, we have lechon paksiw or we have lechon in the ref. So we turn it into paksiw. Hindi na siya kasama for the weekly menu. Kasi meron na siya sa bahay or meron na siya sa freezer namin. And then by dinner, we went to my aunt because there was a birthday celebration. So wala akong naka-assign na pagkain. It's really good to meal plan because you will know, okay, gusto ko sa Wednesday, ayaw kong magluto. Gusto kong chowking. Okay, so lagay mo dito on your dinner on Wednesday. Okay, I want chowking. Okay, take out. Okay, so you can really easily add there. If you have a list online or if you have a list, whatever, Microsoft Word ba yung gamitin ito, it really depends on you on how you list your food items. I like working with Trello because it's really easy for you to navigate. So for example here, I can easily group my recipes here. And when I click my burger steak, meron akong details on the ingredients. So you can list down, you can tweak your ingredients though for the week. So you can see here on the side, on the other side, nandito yung recipes na collection ko. On the left side, we have the reminder. So my Sunday prep consisted of cut up chicken bones for satangon or divide vegetables, prepare pork ribs nilaga, pork adobo, and chicken adobo. So I can see here pork ribs nilaga. You can see it. We will be eating it on lunch for Thursday and Friday and also Sunday dinner. So 3 times namin kakainin si pork nilaga because my son really loves soup. So kailangan talaga namin may pork nilaga. We just vary it with pork ribs or beef ribs kasi medyo masarap kung may bones. Yeah. So our chicken adobo, we have it 2 times this week kasi kinain namin sa kanina. So we have it for Friday lunch and then we will have it again on Sunday lunch. So LF means leftover or meaning naka-store sa ref. So I will have 2 times chicken adobo for this week. Our pork adobo, which I usually boil lang ahead of time, we consumed it last Tuesday dinner. And then we will be eating it again on kailan ba namin? Pork adobo, wala ba? Saan yung pork adobo ko? Maybe ito, yung isa. Okay, let's just see our 1 serving lang ba to? Okay, so I already divided my vegetables kung kailan ko gagamitin sa chop suey. I specify here ano yung na vegetable. Okay, so let's go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, where is that? So I'll share again my screen. So you have seen my Trello board. So meaning you have an idea how to do or how you will have a lot of apps online, as virtual assistants or as we know how we do our business. I call freelancing a business because we invest ourselves in it. Hindi naman tayo nag-work lang kasi kailangan nating mag-work. You make an investment to it. You invest your time, your effort, even yourself into it. Because we aim to be successful in it. So, business talaga siya. So, any type of platform that you use or any type of area that you are comfortable to work with, if you want really a binder, you want a diary, you want a notebook, you want Microsoft Word, you want Google Doc, anything, you can compile your recipes. You have seen my sample, you know how you have already an idea on how I do my meals. You will be able to apply it in yourself. But a simple formula to build the habit. Kasi when you do meal prepping, hindi naman pwede meal prep lang tayo for this week, next week wala na kasi testing lang. If you want to meal prep and be able to apply it until siguro on the last day on earth, you have to develop that habit. How do we develop the habit? Of course, number one thing is to commit. Okay? Hindi nyo naman nakita earlier na dapat protein diet lang. Wala kayong nakitang very specific diet because most of the food items that we eat at home are the ones that are very common, very familiar for me, very familiar to my family. So, hindi dapat social ang meal planning, hindi dapat mahal ang ingredients. We have to apply whatever we know, whatever resources that we have. No? Kaso, I forgot to mention earlier, our budget for the week was only 1,000 pesos, including one banana, one big banana, and then one watermelon, few apples for my son. So it's just 1,044 pesos. We bought all the ingredients in a wet market. So mostly vegetables and fruits lang included in the grocery list, minus all the condiments, minus all the seasonings that we do. So that's only 1,044 pesos for the whole week. Okay. The formula to build the habit is, of course, number one is to commit. Commit to yourself to be healthy. Commit to yourself to plan your meals. No, hindi pwede talaga na. We tried meal planning for 3 weeks and then we gave up because it's hard for us, or you think that it's time consuming for you. No, you have to really commit on yourself to do the planning kasi hindi ka makaka-prep kung wala kang plan. So commit on your meal planning skills. Develop that skill to yourself. Because you will be able to apply it not only in meal planning, but also to having your chores, doing your shopping, everything. You will be able to use the planning part of the meal. It also, na hindi ko kaya mag-meal plan, hindi ako OC, wala akong idea. You have to research. As freelancers are the most flexible people on earth. If before we have to go to work, we are given the details on what to do. We are working for few people, we're working, but being a freelancer, you should be able to do research, you should be flexible in everything kasi yung CEO mo baka gusto mag-venture to other, we have our bosses, we have our CEOs, maybe they want to venture to another field. So for you to be able to go with the flow with your CEO or boss, you have to be very flexible, you have to be very good in planning. So yeah, you have to commit. Next, after committing to yourself that yes, I will do meal planning because I can and I need to and I want to, because I want to be healthy, because I want to save money, and then you decide on the food items or recipe or dishes that you want to eat. Gusto mo bang isama si husband? Gusto mo bang sa'yo lang talaga yung meal planning, your meal prepping part? You decide on yourself. Kasi you will extract everything from the time that you decided. Okay, I will allot 1,500 pesos for my budget for this week because I will be meal prepping. So when you decide, that's it. You committed to something, you decided to something, you start listing down all the meals that you would need or all the dishes that you will need. Next is you research recipes. Ang dami pong recipes online. Blogs, TV shows, ang dami pong recipes online that you may want to prepare at home. Hindi naman po pwedeng wala kang diversity, walang difference. No? Every week, yun lang talaga yung kinakain mo kasi yun yung meal plan mo. Okay? So, research recipes. Hindi naman tayo lahat pinanganak na chef. Okay? So, you have to research, learn recipes by yourself. Now, merong videos on YouTube that will teach you how to cook. So, maybe that's happy. That's good way for you to learn. A happy way for you to learn. Kasi medyo visual kasi yung iba. They love learning while watching. So that may be a best way for you to learn or know few recipes or add recipes to your recipe bank. Next is to list down everything that you need. And then the last thing is of course to cook. Plano ka ng plano, weekly kang napaplano pero wala namang execution. Learn how to cook. Hindi po mahirap magluto. The more we know cooking, the more we will be able to live a healthier life kasi alam natin kung ano yung ina-add natin sa pagkain natin. You wouldn't want to eat, of course, every day na naka-take out lang and you didn't know kung naghugas ba ng kamay yung nag-prepare ng pagkain na ito. So it's really important for you to learn how to cook. Start with cooking rice and then up yourself into cooking. Gisa-gisa muna, prito-prito muna, and then that's it. You learn from there. We start somewhere, di ba? So build the habit by remembering these 5 keywords lang. Commit, decide, look for recipes, list down all the items, list down all the equipment, and then of course, after you plan, after you committed, after you decided, you cook, you prep. That's where meal prepping comes in. So as soon as I'm more on the ending part, as soon as you have developed the habit, you will be able to up your game to healthier meals. You will be discovering recipes that medyo hindi common here and you'll be able to impress your family or to impress the friends that you have. Oh, marunong ka palang magluto ng ganyan. Okay? So, build on your base knowledge. Okay? So, improve your cooking, improve your planning, and then include in the future food items that are healthier. You think that would add more vegetables, add more less the meat consumption kasi Filipinos are meat eaters. Okay, so if you have developed the habit of meal prepping, you will be able to research more recipes. Oh, okay, ito pala yung nutrition facts nito, medyo high in fiber, medyo high in good carbohydrate content siya, so hindi siya medyo masama for diabetic. So ganyan. If you have already developed the habit, be an adventurous cook. So look for healthier recipes, look for recipes that you haven't tried before. That's the way how to develop you eating or you making good nutrition out of it. So I will let you see how we meal prep at home. So Sunday, after purchasing, I prep my pork ribs nilaga. I hope you can see pork ribs nilaga and chicken adobo. So this one, you can see, this is a quick tip for everyone. If you do your nilaga, you can boil it, that's the advantage of meal prepping. When you boil ahead of time your pork nilaga or any meat, and then you will turn it into, for example, soup. By the time that it cools down, the fat actually settles on top or goes on top kasi, water and fat doesn't mix together. So, you can easily skim off the fat or remove the fat kasi yan yung magiging fat again, magiging oily yung soup mo if you don't remove this fat. So, if you can see here, I've divided this one. This is 1 kilo, this is half kilo of pork ribs. So, I divided it to 4 containers. So, only 1 container yung malaki kasi mas marami siyang soup and it only has like 2 pieces of ribs. I have skimmed off this amount of fat in that container. So imagine that fat turning oil into again when you cook it. So ito po yung fat ng ribs. There's still fat in there. So my chicken, we divided it into 2 containers kasi 2 beses namin siya kakainin for the week. So for my pork nilaga, we had 3, right? 1 is spared for my son because he needs more soup than we do. And then there's 3 containers, which means that 3 times namin siya kakainin for the week. Okay, so ilang meals na yun? 5 meals na yung na-save ng meal prepping namin. Sunday pa lang yun. Okay, so we stored it in the freezer afterwards. So that's how I divide my meal prepping. I only use like plastic containers. I still don't have glass containers at home. And also, glass containers are really big ones. So they really take space in our fridge. Okay, so the next thing we do on last Sunday, the next thing I did was to cook apples for my son. So he loves boiled apples. So it's like making or cutting up apples into small pieces and then just boiling it with water without adding any sugar. This cup will satisfy him for like 3 days. So breakfast or twice a day, like breakfast or dinner or lunchtime. So he eats this. He wants to eat really apples. So he likes apples. So I prepare it ahead of time and then put it in the chiller. So just be sure you have a good sealed container. Okay, so this one is my son's breakfast. He loves different types of omelette. So he loves cheese omelette, cabbage omelette, carrots, potato, any fruit, any vegetable, any vegetable that we can include in the omelette. He really loves to eat that. Okay, so he can finish maybe about 3/4 now. So when we started, medyo 1/4 lang. Ngayon, medyo 3/4. Minsan, naubos na yung whole. Ano niya. So we have to cook 2 pieces of omelette daily kung gusto namin mag-egg for breakfast. So next is, this is my breakfast on last Tuesday ata. So so you can really see, I have to portion it for you to be able to picture out how easily I can prepare my meals every day. So this took me less than 10 minutes to prepare, wash the vegetables, cut up this one, and then 10 minutes to cook my egg ampalaya. Okay, so I just have ampalaya, I have egg, garlic, tomato. We can only add chili if my son is not eating the dish. So yeah, so we have ampalaya for breakfast, and then we have this one, talbos ng kamote, I think for Tagalog, but we call it kamote tops here. And that's more familiar with a little bit of spicy vinegar and a little bit of sugar lang, just for sweetness. Okay, so I still consume sugar kahit nutritionist po ako. That's our breakfast last Tuesday. We have egg ampalaya or ampalaya with egg. Next for lunch is that you can see here how I gather my ingredients. So you will have an idea na dapat everything that I cut up or everything that I prepare should be used within that meal. So medyo nasunog konti yung fish. So this is what we call lauoy or utan bisaya. It's much more closer to utan bisaya. What differs lang to utan bisaya here is that in utan bisaya you don't add cabbage. So with my lauoy, it's spelled Law. If I can flash again my Trello board, it's spelled that way. So it's a soup. It's a vegetable soup, and we pair it with any protein that we have at home. We also add a little bit of meat because I try to vary the protein that I give to my son because sometimes medyo hindi siya gusto ng fish. Maybe it's because not fresh or anything. He loves to have soup siguro with meat. So I sometimes cut up the meat. So here, nakikita niyo naman na medyo nakaslice yung meat. So that's our soup. That's our lunch. This is our lunch. We only eat, dalawa lang po kami kumakain sa bahay. So you might say, okay, ang liit ng serving. Dalawa lang po kami. Okay? So our dinner last Tuesday was, of course, the prepared adobo. I have a half kilo of adobo. We prepared it that way. We had a leftover soup of the lauoy that we also eat. We also ate last Tuesday dinner. So I had few cut of watermelons. Yan po yung serving ng pang-2 tao. Hindi po yung medyo malaking ganyan. Yan po yung serving niya. And also we had sliced cucumbers kasi it's best to pair with adobo. And we also had a little soup from the leftover soup during lunchtime. So the next morning, okay, by Wednesday na naman, our breakfast was fried plantains and beef loaf. The egg was for Gio again, for my son again. This is cabbage omelet. That's why it's folded like that. It has cabbage in it. So we also had fried plantains and then, or bananas, fried saba, and then beef loaf. I love beef loaf. Okay, so that's our breakfast. We also had banana with it, I guess. Banana, if I can recall. Okay, this is our lunch. So this is fried fish. This is fried dried fish. This is very common here in Cebu. It's very cheap here in Cebu. So it's best to pair with vegetable soup or chop suey. This is chop suey, guys. If you can see, I have already prepared the ingredients that will be used because it makes me easier. Okay, so you might notice that my vegetables are not prepped ahead of time, only the meats, because I really want freshly cooked vegetable because it will really affect the texture if the vegetable gets frozen. So here I best pair. Yes, kumakain po ako ng dried fish, pero we only finish one piece of this one along with the chop suey. So okay, so you can see here, medyo marami yung. This is the only serving that we consume during that meal. So I was able to save another serving here. And then the remaining soup was for my son again because he loves soup. Okay, so whatever we eat, my son eats. We don't cook a separate dish for him because it's time consuming. So I just incorporated it in the meal plan that the dish should be able to also accommodate my son's needs and wants. So I have saved here. So this is one batch. This is a batch meal prep. So I have saved another serving that will be consumed by Saturday. Okay, so that's easy. That's already saved one meal again. Okay, so for dinner, what we had was pork nilaga. So this is the batch. If you can recall earlier, we had three batches. We have three batches of prepared nilaga. So what we do is just add the vegetables, boil it again. For example, here, this is a concentrated stock. So if it's really flavorful, I just add a little bit of hot water when cooking it and then cooking it with vegetables again. So I have ended with a very good, healthy, and flavorful soup. So it's a pork nilaga or beef pork ribs nilaga. That's our dinner on last Wednesday, I think. Or am I still on Wednesday? Okay. By what's this? Okay, this is the meal prep I had for Wednesday. So we had I prepared it like in the afternoon. This is our dinner. So we had pork giniling. So this is the pork giniling with carrots and potatoes, red bell pepper, and we paired it with coleslaw. So coleslaw is very easy to prepare. 5 minutes, cut up your cabbages, mix it with your dressing of choice or just mayonnaise or vinegar or oil base. It depends on you, whatever dressing you choose for your vegetables. I love coleslaw. Lettuce is a bit hard to find here. So medyo far yung area na nababay yung lettuce. So I like just consuming greens like pechay and cabbage, which is really common here. So just remember to wash them after slicing them up or cutting them up, just to get rid of the soils or get rid of the dirt. Mostly they stick into the vegetables. Okay, and then what we had again for dinner. This is today. Okay, I can remember it clearly kasi ito yung kinain ko kanina. So, when you recall, last Tuesday, we had egg ampalaya. Now we had ampalaya con carne. So, I used just pork. We cut up our meat here and then turn it into this one. So, it took me again 20 minutes overall just to cut up the ampalaya and then prepare it. Okay, so kanina may leftover kaming medyo mga 1/4 nito. So kinain namin ulit for lunch. So what we had for lunch today was the prepared chicken adobo. If you can recall, we had 2 servings of the chicken adobo. So we ate 1 serving earlier. So ito yung 1 serving niya. And then we paired it with fish tinola. So a simple fish tinola. So I have mentioned earlier that we don't meal prep fishes anymore kasi medyo na pa yung lasa niya by the end of the week. So it's just freshly delivered fish for us here. My neighbor kaming fisherman. So he delivers the fish to us. Okay, so yan, you can see it's easy. Trinay ko lang yung chicken adobo na prepared namin on Sunday. So that's how you can observe here. Dalawa lang po kami kumakain, maybe. So, you can observe here, okay? And then, lastly, yan, yun pala yung last. Yun yung kinain. Hindi ko na-include yung dinner namin kanina. We had pork nilaga again and pork lumpia because we had a pack of pork lumpia here that was given to us. So, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you have questions, Mommy Ruth told me earlier that maybe you want to connect with me. I think they will be giving my email address here. So you will be easy, or I will be easy to contact. I'm good with opening my emails every now and then. So thank you everyone for listening, and keep safe. I hope you had the basics. Kahit basics lang, okay na yun sa akin. Na-inspire na ako to teach more, even if you just, have that foundation lang. Kahit hindi nyo na makalimutan nyo na ako kung sino ang turo sa amin ng basic meal prepping, but at least you have an idea now of how to meal prep at home. And meal prepping is easy. Meal prepping should be familiar. Di dapat social, di kailangan ng mamahaling ingredients po to meal prep.
Yes, thank you, Mommy Joyceren. Okay, now we'll be reading some of the cute questions mula sa ating mga momshies. So let's have the first question. Wala kay Momshi Nifi Lapore. I saw sa isang group na may nagpa-practice ng frozen food. Like they will cook their ulam for the week then freeze. Pagkakain, init-init na lang. Will it affect sa nutrition na makukuha? Healthy ba yan if may toddler? Thanks.
Okay, so depending on the food item that they are freezing. For example, if it's a processed food item, for example, yung hinihit nila, mga sausages pala, mga hot dogs pala, and then it really is different from the meat that we buy in the supermarket. Pero kung yung frozen lang, for example, like what I have shared earlier, pork nilaga, frozen lang nila, or pork ribs, let's say baked pork ribs, something, it will not affect the nutrition, but it might affect the quality of the meat. So once na frozen po yung cooked na meat, it will reject, or it will eject a lot of water from the freezing point. It's like na natural state niya. Kung hindi na po siya bumabalik sa quality nung after na luto. That's why at home we still cook our vegetables na on the meal time kasi ma-affect yung quality. Same din po yan sa meat items. So chicken might be a little bit chewy na siya by the time na frozen siya compared to the ones na freshly cooked talaga na nilaga if na frozen siya. So it really depends on the food item kasi it might be a processed food item na compared to hot dog pala yung niluluto nila then pre-freeze na. It will be very different. It can have an impact to nutrition.
Ayun. Okay. Thank you, Mommy Joyceren. So, okay lang pala, no, na ganun mag-freeze. Okay. Next question tayo. Except lang with the fish. Kasi baka it might, no, yung nabanggit nyo kanina, baka mag-suffer yung quality, lalo na. Okay, this one. Very interesting ang question ni Mommy. Mula kay Mommy Abigail de la Cruz Orozco. Wow, paano po namin may store ang mga veggies na hindi agad mabubulok po? Ay, nice.
Okay. So, di ba, I told earlier that we plan our purchases. Kasi pag one go lang tayo, we don't have to go again. Gagastos na naman tayo to go out. So what you'll do after your purchase is you wash all your fresh produce, even your fruits. You wash them before storing it somewhere or before putting it in the fridge. Because there might be the bacteria or there might be certain dirt na naka-insert doon, and then yun yung mag-create ng good environment for the bacteria to go or to the mold to grow into. Be sure to dry them up. So medyo wisik-wisik natin si petchay before ilalagay sa ref. Huwag niyong ilalagay ng medyo basa pa siya. So wash, pisik-pisik, and then put sa ref. Okay?
Wow, okay. Dahil ako, maraming salamat, Mommy Joyceren. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan tungkol dyan in the future. But of course, I'd like to present to you our certificate of appreciation para kay Mommy Joyceren. Yay! So this is awarded to Mommy Joyceren Nia Henobania for being a volunteer trainer of FHMoms free webinar, Easy to Prepare Meals for Work from Home Moms. We take the privilege of acknowledging your initiative to help, given this 9th of July 2021 by Filipina Home-Based Moms, signed by our FHMoms CEO and founder, Maria Corina Bertulfo, Mommy MK Bertulfo. Yes. Mommy Joyceren, maybe your final message, lalo na sa mga mommies natin, na talagang struggle is real, lalo na yung pagpe-prepare, pagluluto para sa kanilang mga pamilya.
Okay, so I think I mentioned this earlier na tayong freelancer should be very flexible. We should learn how to research. So it doesn't need you to be or doesn't need you to hire a nutritionist dietitian just to plan your meals. Be sure to be able to research on the different. Magaling tayo doon. Alam ko magaling tayo mag-research lahat. Most of the freelancers that I know or most of the freelancers that I meet, because I've already met with certain people dahil dito sa freelancing. I have known Mommy Ruth, I have known the FHMoms family. Medyo nag-chat kami kanina. And yan. So, be sure to be able to learn how to research because research is the key. Wherever or whatever field you choose in freelancing, the best way for you to learn is to research talaga. You ask what you do not know and then you research what you want to learn. You can be a different person by researching. And then you establish your skills there kasi magaling kang mag-research.
Wow! Yes, dahil dyan, Mommy Joyceren kindly also invite kung baka may mga gusto po who would love to ask your help, lalo na sa pag-meal prep or kasi may mga nakita din ako sina momshies ay mga exclusive breastfeeding mommies din.
Yes.
Connect with you. Please promote din po your email address. Saan po namin kayo makakontak?
Okay, so you can email me. I think Mommy Ruth has already placed the details here. You can email me jmhenobanya@gmail.com. I usually check my email most of the time. So if papasok na yung email nyo, baka ma-address natin yung concern nyo then and there. I have few clients, not only Filipinos, but mixed breed yung clients ko po. I have mga Indiano, I have Americans, I have even UK clients which have like a different or diverse diet compared to us. So maybe hindi ako mahihirapan sa diet ng Pilipino. So if you really need my help, okay, siguro you can directly email me. So gagawa tayo ng brand in the future. Baka I have lots of ideas, so wala lang pong time to implement. Baka I want to make my own brand to be able to promote good nutrition to other people and reach more women, empowered women who works hard. Like, the community that we have.
Totoo. Excited na ako. Sana matuloy talaga yung, yung parang app or something na
Yeah, the Filipino app.
Yes, ako.
Hopefully, in the future.
We look forward, Mommy Joyceren, na makasama ka namin uli sa susunod pa nating mga webinars. Maraming salamat and have a great...
Thank you again, Mommy Ruth. Thank you, FHMoms.
Bye, Mommy Joyceren.
Bye po. Bye, everyone.
Salamat. Ayan, ako, nakakatuwa na tonight, meron tayong ganito that we have this kinds of webinar yung tinuturo sa atin and also encourages us to do meal planning, meal prepping para sa family natin. Now, I'll be reading your takeaways. Kaya naman mga momshies, go ahead. What are your takeaways for today? Ano yung mga natutunan ninyo? Ako, ang natutunan ko, kami sa bahay, kasi ang mother ko yung laging nagluluto sa amin. So, lagi namin ginagawa is yung by batch na pagluluto. So, normally, kung kunyari, magluluto siya ng adobo, we normally eat that ng 3 beses, 3 meals. So, or minsan, pag medyo na kami, parang nagsasawa na, ang ginagawa namin, pinipare namin siya, kunyari, bibili kami ng gulay, or gagawa ng ensalada, mga ganon. So, iba-iba siya. So ngayon, hopefully, ay mas maging magaling pa ako kasi ako yung nag-grocery, ako yung namamalengke din sa amin. So sana mas magaling din ako, lalo na pagdating sa pagpe-prepare, pag-meal plans, ayan. And also, yung pagluluto na kailangan ko ring matutunan in the future. Hindi, nagluluto ako pero dapat mas maging magaling sa pagluluto. Ayan. Okay, now we'll be reading your takeaways. Ano ang yung mga takeaways, Mom? She sabi ni Lap J. Flores, plan, purchase, and prep for a week is the best idea na natutunan ko today. Thanks, Mommy Joyceren. Wow, thank you very much, Mommy Lap J. Flores. So kung sa tingin mo, what works for you, kunyari, ang nag-work para sa'yo is yung by batch. Or yung isa yung parang yung isa naman yung parang nakasup na siya, i-assemble na lahat. So, it really depends on you. Ayan. So, meron pa ba tayo? Do we still have more? Mula kay Mami FHMoms. Siguro, Lomi Fee. Tulyaw. Tama po ba dapat i-include na pati meals ng kids para masanay ang mga kids sa mga kinakain natin, lalo na pag may gulay? Nako, I agree. Tama yan. Lalo na kapag the younger, the better na in-expose sila sa pagkain ng gulay para at least hindi sila magiging mapili lalo na sa pagkain. Yan, salamat po. Now we still have more mula kay Mami Abigail de la Cruz Orozco. natutunan ko po na pwede pala talaga yung luto na, tsaka siya ilalagay sa freezer. Ganun kasi yung mom-in-law ko. Akala ko di good yun eh. Ang natutunan ko po na maging wais sa pamimili. Yes. At saka, imagine yung budget nila, Mommy Joyceren, 1,000 a week for their meals. Wow! Ang galing nun ha. So, hindi ibig sabihin na, okay, may takeaway for tonight. Yan, to close our webinar. May takeaway for tonight, naalala ko na rin. Hindi ibig sabihin na mahal ay masustansya. Hindi ibig sabihin na malaki yung ginastos mo para sa pagkain ng pamilya mo ay okay na yon, good na for them. Minsan, kailangan lang din natin i-base kung ano yung available sa community natin. For example, ano yung in-season na gulay para mas mura or prutas para mas mura natin silang mapapurchase. And at the same time, yung budget na kinoconsider din natin. So, pag naisip na natin yun, I think we can be able to prepare meals na healthier para sa family natin. And the last thing that we can do is mag-research. Ayan. So, research tayo kung paano natin mas mai-improve pa yung meals na ipaprepare natin para sa ating family, lalo na kung meron tayong mga chikiting. Ayan, dahil dyan, have a great weekend mga momshies. It's a Friday night. Anong gagawin ninyo tomorrow? Dahil dyan, ay magtatapos na muna ang ating webinar. I am inviting you once again. Get ready. Sa last week ng July, we have our Learn from Home School Fair. This is all open to all the momshies, all the titas. Kasi we will be inviting different learning platforms na pwedeng-pwede para po sa inyong mga anak at sa inyong mga pamangkin. And you might get a chance to win a tablet, a phone, and other exciting prizes. Kung hindi pa po kayo nakapag-register, register na po kayo because we will be also releasing another announcement tungkol dyan. Pakaabangan niyo po. Muli po ako po ang inyong Mommy Ruth sa ngalan po ni Mommy MK. Have a great weekend mga momshies. God bless. Good night po. Bye.
Tara na tumutok na sa FHMoms Radio. Habang ika'y nagre-relax sa bahay mo.
FHMoms Radio, changing lives, one mom at a time. Moving forward, giving back with FHMoms Radio.
Tara na tumutok na sa FHMoms Radio. Habang ika'y nagre-relax sa bahay mo. Marami kang matututunan dahil di lang basta chikahan. FHMoms Radio, mga momshi ating to.
Tara na mga momshi, mami, nanay o mama, andito na ang FHMoms na makakasama. Ang online radio na magbibigay advice at mga kwento na siguradong mapapanay. Ito ay hindi lang basta mga chikahan. Andito sila upang ikaw ay gabayan, turuan ng mga tips sa paghahanap buhay at maging isa ka sa successful na nanay. O diba? Kaya saan ka pa? Basta ikaw ay momshi, dito bida ka. FHMoms Radio number 1. Ito ang online radio ng sangkanan na yan. Di ka lang basta nanay, ikaw ay super nanay. Para sa pamilya ang lahat ay iaalay. Lahat ibibigay, lahat ay kayang gawin. Ang iyong pagiging nanay lalo pang palakasin.
FHMoms Radio.
Tara na tumutok na sa FHMoms Radio. Habang ika'y nagre-relax sa bahay mo. Marami kang matututunan dahil di lang basta chikahan. FHMoms Radio, mga momshi ating to. Mga momshi, tara na, dito'y bidang-bida ka. Ipagmalaki natin na tayo'y magigiting nga ina. Mga mami, tara na, dito'y bidang-bida ka. Ipagmalaki natin na tayo'y magigiting nga ina.
FHMoms Radio.
Tara na tumutok na sa FHMoms Radio. Habang ika'y nagre-relax sa bahay mo. Marami kang matututunan dahil di lang basta chikahan. FHMoms Radio, mga momshi ating to. Tara na tumutok na sa FHMoms Radio. Habang ika'y nagre-relax sa bahay mo.
FHMoms Radio.
Tara na,